Welcome back to Candid Football Conversations, and we have another guest today speaking to us. It's Arata Izumi, a former Indian national team player, someone who's played in the I-League as well as in the Indian Super League, and now is an assistant coach with Inter Kashi. Arata, thank you very much for your time. As people will be able to see, you're in an Inter Kashi coach's jersey, so you guys have started your preseason in Kolkata. How's it been going?
Yeah, it has been a fantastic experience working with this club, and the entire team is motivated. Players, technical staff, of course, management, and we are working really closely together to have great season for this brand new club. So it's going fantastic so far.
Last few seasons, you were with the Reliance Foundation. You were working with younger players, with academy players. Now you're moving up to work with senior players. What's that difference for you so far?
Yeah, actually, I feel like I'm back to my playing time. Dealing with those professionals. Of course, my role is completely different, but still, the approach, the demands. This atmosphere doesn't change whether coach or the player. So, I think I'm very much adapting to this environment, and I feel like okay, I finally came back where I belong to. So, I'm pretty much excited and enjoying.
And you are back in the city to which you originally came in India when you came to India in 2006 in Kolkata. How does it feel? I mean, so many years later, you're back in Kolkata. You now see this football infrastructure that the city has. You see how much of, you're not only just a few people in a team, that there's so much organization. You guys are staying in a proper hotel and all that stuff. How does it feel, if you remember your old playing days?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Of course, I mean, Kolkata is always close to my heart. In the 2007 when I came to East Bengal, Kolkata, this was the first city to start my footballing career in India. And it was dramatic enough for me to come back to this city as a ATK player. And now, as a coach, especially the first year of my coaching professional career with this Inter Kashi brilliant club, to come to Kolkata for this pre-season training session is something very special and dramatic for me. And looking at the facility, looking at the condition of each aspect has improved dramatically so much since I came to this country, and I think that is super exciting, a positive sign that the Indian football is going towards a bright future.
And that's the question. Now you're a coach. You see it differently. You most probably see it holistically, differently than you were as a player. Generally speaking, Indian football, where do you see Indian football at the moment?
I think the biggest difference is the players have that professionalism now. It's very clear, and that is I'm not comparing to the previous players, but I think that the environment and the atmosphere, and it is demanding from player to be more disciplined, to be more fit, because the football changes year by year, and now the football is actually becoming super physical, and players demanding for this physicality is super high, and the player has to cope up with that demand. And the players are realizing that is eventually automatically making them more professional on and off the pitch. That's, I feel, the biggest difference. And today, that's why we see a lot of local players can shine in ISL much more than previous series. And that is just a very positive side of what I'm seeing.
And that is great to see. Coming to talk about a topic that we featured on Candid Football Conversations quite a lot, and we've discussed it quite a lot, and you, of course, are the role model for that, is the topic of players of Indian origin getting to play for the Indian national team. The topic is hot again. The FF has constituted a task force to look into the matter. How do you see it? I mean, you are the one who has made it. You came to India. You started playing in India. You then said you wanted to play for India. It took quite a long time for you to get an Indian passport. What do you say? What should the AFF do? And has anyone actually approached you to be part of the task force?
Not particularly from AFF side about this task force, but I'm aware of this project going on. So yeah, I think it is pretty much interesting to see how it's going to go. I think if you can give me some more specific question, probably I can answer a bit better way. Yeah.
And it took you a long time to get an Indian passport. I mean, the process, we've had a young boy from Belgium, Triman Ravir, coming over in the summer trying to get an Indian passport and think he can get it quickly and then start playing in India. it took you a long time to get the passport. Is that the biggest challenge for a PIO OCI to wanting to play for India at the moment?
I don't think that is the biggest challenge. I think any country looking to change the citizenship or to get the citizenship have proper process, and I think Indian government is properly it's guiding that you can find out whatever the information from the internet, and you can talk to lawyer, and you can find the procedure, and you just need to go through with that procedure. So I don't think that is something that stopping or disturbing PIO or OCI to play for Indian national team. Of course, the difficulty is always surrendering your own citizenship and becoming Indian and play for India. I think that is the biggest challenge that most of the foreigners or the PIO OCIs are facing. But I personally think that is the minimum criteria to play for any countries. If you are willing to represent the country, that's my personal opinion. Of course, I'm aware of a lot of countries allow to dual citizenship and allow them to play for their own country, and I think that is their decision, and that is totally okay and fine. It's up to them. But I like to talk from my point of view. Looking at India, I understand that India, the huge country, the huge pool of talents. If it's the player or individuals willing to do the proper process and becoming Indian and play for Indian national team, I think that's a great commitment and love and passion shown by the individual towards India. So probably that might be my opinion. It's very difficult to explain this, but that's how I felt and took my steps. So yeah.
But when was this step? I mean, was it clear to you when you came to India to play professional football that you wanted to switch nationality, or did it come later for you?
So since I came to India, there was always rumor, when Arata is going to play for Indian national team, PL can play, OCI can play, and no one was clear about it. And I myself was not thinking much about it. Oh yeah, if there's an opportunity, I would love to. That kind of a stance I was, but eventually I spend time year by year. Things becomes more clear that okay, you cannot play as an Indian PIO or the OCI, but you have to become an Indian national. Then to become an Indian national, I have to give up my Japanese passport. That is when that was 2009 or 10. Yeah, that time. That is a time that I really started to study and talk to people. What is the actual procedure and what is the criteria that I have to actually to even apply to stand a chance for the same. So yeah, it took a lot of effort, and it took a lot of effort, but I think that is how it is. So
did you get help to in the process, or did you do it all on your own with the support of, as you said, with most probably lawyers and other people?
Yeah, I had some support from the well-wishers to connect into person and understanding which documentation and this and that. Yeah, so I'm always grateful to them, and of course, some Japanese consulate people also helped me quite a lot in terms of documentation, in terms of coordinating between two government, and yeah, without their help, it was I'm sure it was very, very difficult.
And if you look back at that decision that you gave up your Japanese citizenship to take on an Indian citizenship to go on to represent the Indian national team, do you think it was the right decision for Arata Izumi to take?
Forever, 100%. There's zero doubt. That because of that, today I'm still here. I'm talking to you. I can still call myself a professional. India gave me everything. The decision of myself was one of the biggest, the most important decision of my life, and the most positive decision that I made in my life.
And that's a great thing to say, right? That again, it was most probably somewhat of a gamble to first of all to come to India to play football, and then fall in love with this country, and then of course represent the country, and everything that you do today is because of that. You've experienced it again, of giving up your Japanese citizenship, taking on your Indian citizenship. What would be your advice to the boys? Of course, some of them play in the top leagues in Europe, in North America. They're in a little bit of a different situation. They're not in a situation of coming to India. We've had other players who came to India during your time, but didn't really make it as PIO players when the quota was started. What would be your advice to those players? Should they risk it to play for India?
First of all, you shouldn't think it's a risk. I think first of all, you should think it's an honor. It is something that you can give your 100% commitment. Then only you should think about it. Don't think any other angle. That my, I mean, if there's a so-called advice, then that will be my advice to those players, because you can't do things. This you cannot do this with a half-hearted. You got to give all. Then only you may stand the chance to make it happen. Then if you can make it happen, you are lucky enough, just like me. I was just lucky. As simple as that.
So it's rather than calling a risk, calling it an opportunity. And I think the important thing that you want to make is most probably the commitment. There needs to be 100% commitment towards India, towards representing India.
Yes, of course, opportunity and honor. This is an honor. Trust me.
And that's it, right? If you see the younger boys coming back to, you're a coach now. Players look up to you. I've had a few conversations with boys who've played under you at the Reliance Foundation, and they were very, very fond about Arata coach, Arata sir, Arata sir. So what do you tell these boys? I mean, becoming professional itself is very, very tough, especially in the environment that there is in India today. There are lots of kids who are trying to become professional players. What do you tell these kids? What do you tell also the younger players who are now in your squad at Interkashi who want to reach the top level? What's the advice that you give them?
Advice, I don't know if my advice helps them or not, but I'm always very, very honest with my feedback and honest with my opinion. While I tell those players, I think that is what is most important. So if I feel, okay, you are not reaching the level, then I will straight away tell him, you are not reaching that level. Why? I will make sure I convince him. So what he should be doing. And I always talk to, especially the young champs boys. Many people say football is my life, but for me, football is part of life. The life is bigger than football for me. And football is not only one way is a success, right? So of course, many players want to be a top player or becoming professional football player. That is a dream, no doubt about it. But not everyone can become a professional football player, a top player. That is a fact. So if you cannot be, then are you losing out something, or you are a loser? No, definitely not. You are still making progress, and you are making that effort. And yeah, maybe you could not reach that objective that you actually wanted to achieve. But I am sure, while you are going that process, you can find something else, and that itself is going to connect to your final objective. So football can connect from everywhere possible. So I always tell them, don't give up. Just keep following your dream, and then you will reach to your place.
And I think that's a very important, right? Follow your dreams, but don't forget, sort of say, life. Again, football is my life is an easy thing to say, but again, there is more than just football, because there is family, there are friends, there is, what is your plan B? I always say to kids, right? What's your plan B if you do get injured? Maybe you don't get selected. There are different reasons for that, right? So how difficult is it to make these kids understand that you are trying to follow your passion, you're trying to follow your dream, but very, very few reach that top level that you are lucky to achieve?
Yeah, it is extremely difficult for any of those ambitious young stars or children to understand or even think about plan B. To be honest, I couldn't think about my plan B when I was following my dream, and that is okay. But my job and my belief is always to keep making them aware or giving them the information. Eventually, the individual will recognize that is a moment that they have to do it, and probably that is how we can help. It's a dream that they, if we can teach children everything in their life, which is not possible, right? They have to
It's not possible, yeah.
Experience, and they will come to know.
And reality, right? Reality strikes sometimes, which is very, very brutal, right? That is
Exactly.
sometimes very, very sad, right? Again, we are lucky that we're able to work in the football field and make these, also get these friendships, these experiences of meeting people. I think that's also very, very important, that the friends that we've made and the positive and of course the negative experiences as well, right? Again, sometimes you get stronger with these negative experiences, right?
Exactly, and especially when the children face, or those young players face that kind of negative or the very disqualification, that is when we should, open our arm again, and we should just help them again. That is the moment probably we can again try to convince, yeah, okay, now we spoke about it previously, but again we can talk about it. Maybe that is the time actual work may start. So that's always my approach.
And that's great to hear, Arata. I think you've now made a start. You were coaching the young champs. Now you're coaching the boys at Interkashi as an assistant. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we will see you in the future as a top level professional coach in the I League and the ISL. And thank you for your time. And I think very important is also the story, or your story, for players of Indian origin, overseas Indians who are thinking of playing for India, to understand how the whole thing works. So I thank you very much for this conversation. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe SportsKhabri and Arunfoot, and we'll be coming back with more Candid Football Conversations. Thanks a lot again, Arata.
Thanks, Arun.